Shh. Quiet, isn't it? Okay. 2 minutes. You want to sing song? I haven't got enough people in here now, let alone when I've had a sing song. Okay. Especially with my throat. This morning. It's good to be back, actually. It doesn't feel like left from the last time. Right, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much and welcome to the Co-operative Funeralcare European Masters Finals here at Blackpool Newton Hall. And without further ado, let's bring your players on for the first match of the event. This gentleman is from Clary Dunbar Indoor Bowling Club, and he won his place to get here from Dolphin back earlier on in the year. Please welcome Brian Hawkins. And up against Brian, ladies and gentlemen, he's from Wesleycott Indoor Bowls Club. He's been here before, reached several finals, and hoping to get his place here this year. Let's welcome Neil Smith. Commentary with Janice Gower and Robert Chisholm.
Yeah, thanks very much, Richard, and in for an interesting day's bowls here at the Co-operative Funeralcare European Masters 2016, hosted by the Blackpool Newton Hall Club, and we generally are in sunny Blackpool at the moment. And I'm delighted to be joined in the commentary box by Robert Chisholm. Welcome to comms again, Rob.
Good morning, Janice. Good to be back here again, commentating on some great bowls here this morning.
Yeah, fingers crossed we're in for a good weekend of bowls. A really strong field out here this weekend. And what these guys are playing for is a tour card. We have 2 tour cards on offer this weekend, and the winners of the tour cards get the right to play in all 3 of the World Bowls Tour ranking events for the forthcoming 2016-17 season. And Rob, you were one of those tour card winners here last year.
Yeah, I was. Myself and Gary Smith were the 2 winners last year. As you say, there's a lot at stake for all the players, so I'm sure everybody's aware of that, and you'll see some really competitive bowls over the next few days, purely because of what's at stake.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. this year that we have a few regulars here, and Neil Smith, who's one of the players you're looking at there, folks, in the green, has qualified for the last 3 tour cards, and I believe he's got to at least 2 finals. He didn't get to the finals here last year, but he's certainly one of the most consistent players on the circuit.
Yeah, he is. Neil travels far and wide, playing various competitions. He's certainly dedicated to the sport, and he's well practiced coming into this competition. After winning a Premier 3 event last week, so he'll be one of the guys to watch out for again.
Yeah, I believe his opponent today, Brian Hawkins, is the owner-manager of the Clary Dunbar Club. A few players out there might know it's the club that Graham Shadwell plays out of. I believe it's a club you've been to, Rob.
Yeah, I get down there now and again with me job. We Greengage look after their indoor bowling green, and they also have a shop which Brian's heavily involved with as well. Like you say, he's the owner of the stadium and the bowl shop there.
And he qualified out of pool. An interesting but useless fact, which everybody knows out there, I'm full of bits of useless information. Neil Smith actually went to pool to try and qualify for the tour card there, and lost out in the group stages. So then went to Bromley, which was the next tour card, and won it. You can actually play in as many of the tour card qualifiers as you'd like to get to. Once you've won one, obviously, that's it, you're through.
Yeah, Brian's picked up a 1 there on the first end, so that'll settle his nerves quite early on in the match here. The focus is always to try and get that first and second ball going quite early in the match. It's always something that every player tries to do to settle themselves into it.
Yeah, Neil Smith in the Premier 3s that you mentioned he won on Thursday, I think it was, of last week.
Yeah.
He played exceptionally well with his lead bowl. He was absolutely bang on every end. He played with the new Tiger Slices there.
Yeah.
I believe he's playing with his Tiger Pros out there today, Rob. He put his head round the commentary box this morning as he's joining us in comms later, Neil. So, yeah, Tiger Pros out there, I believe.
Yeah, and Brian's playing with Tiger, so you'll probably find that the red set here will be swinging slightly more than the green set. It's purely a preference down to each individual. The green is really fair, so it's just a preference. Just pick a set and play with them. You know, there's no real tricks on the rink, so the standard should be quite high.
Well, Brian's certainly got off to a reasonable start here. His first experience of the TV set. It's quite good, I think, for the players, Rob, that are going to win a tour card to experience the TV umpires, the TV set, the shot clock. It's the first year we've had the shot clock in for the tour card playoffs.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's a great opportunity for anybody playing in such an event for the first time. It's not on the portable rink, so it's not as daunting as what it would be at playing at Potters or Perth in Scotland, for example.
It gives you that little bit of an experience before you get there. We all know playing
Certainly.
under the shot clock is a different experience. Once you get used to it, I think most of the top players now are fairly used to the shot clock.
Yeah, definitely. And Brian's started the second end really good again. Neil looking to just settle into a good pace, yeah.
You'll see Neil's following his bowl up here. He then has, when his bowl comes to rest, Brian then has 30 seconds to deliver his bowl. He wants, within the main 2 sets of 9 ends of the game, he can take 5 timeouts.
I didn't know that fact, Janice, because I don't usually use any timeouts myself personally, but
And
it's
That gives you an extra 60 seconds though, Rob, if you needed it.
it's not worth worrying about. Just get on with it and beat the 30 seconds.
I think it might come into play if you're going to a tie break, really.
Yeah, you're definitely right. It's something that I need to personally utilise a lot better than what I have done. There is crucial points in each set and tie break ends, and like you say, the extensions are there to be used properly.
Well, I'm not sure here. I think Brian might even be holding 3 shots.
Certainly 2 there. I quite agree with him just trying to draw close again there. I don't really see any need in putting a back one in, although he won't be happy where his last ball's landed because it actually gives Neil a guide into the jack there. I think you will see Neil getting past his own short ball down the backhand, or is he opting to dead draw down the forehand? It looks like he is.
It's a nice hand, this. Swings quite a bit. It's probably the swingiest hand on the rink. As you mentioned before, this isn't the portable rink, it's the bona fide rink 2 here at Blackpool.
Yeah, if he's pushed it, he'll bend a long way from there. Has he quite reached?
Let's not give it enough weight. Two declared. Three declared, looking for 4. Umpire being called into action at the second end here. Umpire for this game is Dan Blewett. Our marker is Alan Thornhill. And on the shot clock we have Francis Fletcher. We have one of the new TV umpires for his first full tournament here, Dan McManus. He's just observing this first game and he starts his career with the WBT in full.
3 shots, Brian Hawkins.
From the next game.
3 shots to Brian, 4-0 after 2 ends. That's a perfect start for himself. Neil hasn't started the way he would have liked. He'll be concentrating on trying to get the speed of the green.
Yeah, confident start. Young Connor Sinato. Next game up to the right of your screen there, folks. Nickname's the Ginger Ninja. Texting away there. He meets Gerard Breen, the young man from Wales. We were actually saying with a bit of a smile that we had 2 of the oldest competitors in this first game,
Yeah,
Rob,
yeah.
and definitely the 2 youngest in the second game.
Yeah, that's right. I think looking at the draw, everybody's quite evenly matched, so there's a lot to look forward to. Certainly, the next game between Connor and Jared will be one of the best spectacles today, I would think.
Yes, both very confident players. Play with flair, I would think is the word to use.
Yeah, they've got all the shots.
Well, Neil's managed to get one close there. That'll be a bit of a settler for him. Number of players out there in the crowd. I see in the middle there your opponent for tomorrow, Jason Norris.
Yeah, look forward to playing against Jason. Obviously, he's playing on his home green, so I'm going to be up against it. But we look forward to playing in front of his fans there.
Yes, it'll be interesting tomorrow. You might be against the crowd for a change, Rob.
Yeah, not very often that happens. I usually bribe a few to shout and cheer for me, but I don't think there's any chance tomorrow.
Well, Neil just missed that. I think he practiced with both his Tigers and Tiger Pros before making the decision.
Yeah, I actually had half an hour with Neil on the rink yesterday. I think he was quite surprised with how much my normal Tigers were swinging, and it kind of put him off a little bit. So he's gone for a steadier bias, which is the Tiger Pro.
Looks a better line here.
Yeah, he's still just under, but he wins off his own ball if he makes contact. No. Quite tight for shot. It's probably just favour the front green. Brian looking to beat his own back one.
Yeah, Neil's got the trail on at the moment to count a few shots. Brian's
Yeah.
on a nice high line here though.
That covers the danger. I do favour it's one to green though, with a chance of sitting a red ball out for 3 shots.
Yeah, even if he gets a touch on the jack, it's
Yeah.
not going to go any worse. Oh, he doesn't like that.
Yeah, it's easy done. Looking for the higher line, you can easily just pass by 2 feet.
Sometimes in situations like that, you feel like perhaps the player should have afforded to reach a bit more positive. Oh,
One shot, Neil Smith.
one conceded to Neil. It's early morning.
No, I did fancy wanting to kneel, to be honest.
Well, Neil's kept the mat back. He was saying at the Premier Threes that he was playing a lot of shorter length jacks.
Yeah, he was practicing quite a bit with a mat up as well, so I am surprised with that.
Length 31 meters.
Full length jack.
Yeah, perhaps this is because he's playing with that tighter bolt.
Yeah, I agree.
He perhaps thinks that Brian might struggle. Neil's been in and amongst all the top players for many years. A lot feel that he's been deserved of a tour card. He's had a couple of wild cards into events because he's been so successful in the PBA. He wins open singles tournaments. And a few would say should be in and around the England team. It's quite a surprise to some people that he's not in that team because he's so consistent, plays singles but also enjoys team play. He and his family, 2 daughters, Lucy and Katie, were runners-up in the national mixed fours this year. I was there to watch that game. They were holding game till the last delivery of one Mark Dawes from Blackpool Newton Hall. And they just lost. He enjoys team play as much as he enjoys singles, Neil.
Yeah, as you say, I'm quite surprised that he's not in the 24-man England team, especially after he was selected to play in a test series against Wales last year. I think it was in October or November. And because he was selected in that, everybody kind of took it for granted that he'd be in the 24-man team, but that didn't turn out to be the case. That's a better length ball by Neil. Brian just trying to adjust to this longer jack length. And this backhand isn't easy with a swinging ball. He'll bend most of this, but it's easy just to drift past on this line. Could well be if it sits in.
Before you go into tournaments like this, Rob, I mean, I know you've had tour cards into all the events this year, but do you watch how other players have played the rink? Would Brian have had a look at what the final was here in March of the International Open and watched how Jamie Chesney and David Gawley played the rink?
Yeah, I think he might well have done. I personally don't look at what other people do on the rink. I'm probably quite fortunate that I've played on the rink, you know, a good few times myself. So I've got my own personal ideas of what I want to do anyway. But I think somebody like Brian coming out for the first time probably will have took notes out of what happened here in March in the International Open. He's playing with a Tiger, which is a strong bias ball, and he would have noticed that the other goal they played with an international, which is just as strong, if not a little bit of a stronger bias. And he's played a great last ball there to save the end and to go 5-1 up.
Yeah, of course, we play 9 end sets here. Normally in qualifiers and in the tour card qualifiers, you play 7 end sets. Does give you that little bit more time to get back into the set. And if we do have one set at all, we go into a 3-end tie-break.
Which is always good to watch.
I think we might see a few of those this weekend.
I think
That
there's
could be
every chance.
commentator's curse, but
Yeah. Good start again, Brian on his forehand. Toucher.
yes, that ball is chalked by our marker. And for those new viewers out there watching, if that ball stays in the rink but goes off the back of the rink, stays within the confines, it stays live. Now we've got a few new viewers watching out there, and don't forget, on this World Bowls Tour streaming, you can bob your questions to us, streaming or Facebook, and we can put your questions to Rob Chisholm, who's with us this morning. If you want any technical questions, I have Dan Blewett in with me this afternoon, and we can always get your questions answered by one of the World Bowls Tour directors if it's something that involves them. So bob your questions to us. We're here all day, right the way through today's play.
Neil changing his line there, brought it in and trying to reach ball at Jack, but he's missed it by some distance, but it's never wasted there. Brian most certainly will be trying to play a slightly wider line and pass the Jack if possible. He won't be looking to touch the shot ball and opening it up. Finishing really well there.
5-1's a good lead to have at this stage.
It is, and with one on the Jack there, it's just all a case of trying to cover everything as best as possible. He doesn't want to be dropping 2s and 3s at this stage.
Well, Neil's played a bit more aggressive
Yeah,
here. Looks
very
in the
close.
area, very close.
Yeah,
Good
great shot.
result. Left a lot of room though.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of room to beat there. Probably about 4.5 feet to beat. 5 feet maybe.
2 green at the moment.
4 feet.
There are new cameras here so you can see into the ditch. So hopefully we'll get that to you.
Yeah, the testing various different bits of new equipment. We're trying to always move things forward with you here at World Bowls Tour. And don't forget, if you can't stay with us, there's ditch cam for
There's
us.
ditch cam and perfectly paced there by Brian. What does Neil do here? Does he just draw away, or does he try and get rid of the ball for 2 or 3 if he stays?
Well, I think he's got the opportunity of getting a 2 or 3 here. I often say in these games you've got to take your opportunities. He doesn't like it.
Doesn't like it. He must be tight. Oof.
Might get a bit of fortune. Yeah, as I said, if you can't stay with us, all the results are on worldbowlstour.tv, which is the World Bowls Tour website. Again, a great shot there of ditch cam, just been introduced this time. They've even been looking at some new cameras that they can attach to the players and umpires. That might be something
Yeah.
moving forward that'd be quite interesting. Though I do remember the famous incidents at Potters where players are
Oh.
mic'd up and they tend to forget to turn them off when they pay a call to the little boys or little girls' room.
Yeah, I've heard a few stories. Yeah.
So you'd definitely be wanting to be able to switch those cameras off. Great start again here by Brian.
Yeah, I can't fault the way he's started the first set and the way he's carrying it on throughout the set. He's going to take some beating if he keeps opening balls like that.
Well, the tour card days are tough days to win through. He thoroughly deserves to be here. He's showing his form out there at the moment.
Last ball, 15 inches.
He's qualified as Brian for various finals in the past. In 2016 he was in the men's fours finals.
Brilliant balls. Two absolutely brilliant balls there by Brian. I think Neil will shake this up a little bit here. Backhand runner. Will he get down from there? No is the answer.
Yeah, I think at this stage of the game he's got to be trying things though.
Yeah,
He's in end
I agree.
6 and he's 5 behind.
split the two greens, Brian. Maybe play the respot. Surprises me. I thought he would have just been passing the head down the forehand there, trying to just get closest to the respot and split the two green balls at the same time. But it's not a bad ball there, is it, Janice?
No, he's gone for the blocking option, which isn't always the easiest shot to play.
He's not far off hitting that blocker either here.
Well, worked perfectly
Yeah.
for him.
Can't fault it. No, he's thinking about things.
He's coming up to have a look at this now. If he's holding 2 shots,
Yeah, he'll definitely play the respot this time down the forehand.
he won't want to make it a bigger target for Neil. Now he's on the countdown, 15, 14. You can see the shot clock there at the top left-hand corner of your
Yeah.
screen.
I think this could be a timeout.
I think he's got to consider it.
Timeout
Yeah,
called.
there we go. Timeout called, and there he
Brian has
shows
4 timeouts remaining.
60 seconds left, and he's got 4 more timeouts he can take through the first 2 sets. If they go into the tie break, they get an extra timeout.
Yeah, perfectly positioned here.
Yeah, very considered there, Rob. He took his time, he thought about it.
Neil's just got to take some speed out of it now and just hope to try and trail a jack for 2.
He's watching it.
It's unlucky. Brian wins on the respot to go 7-1 up. And the set is probably all but done and dusted now.
Yeah, well, 6 shots, 3 ends to play.
1 shot, Brian Hawkins.
I mean, the joy of the sets game is that if Neil does lose this first set, he can regroup and look at the second set anew.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. The format allows you to start from fresh in the second set. Neil will be using the next end or 2 just to try and get the speed of the green. You know, he'll have it in his mind now that this set's pretty much gone now. So he's just got to get his head round of starting from fresh.
Brian certainly looks very composed out there. Sometimes we see that players, once the TV cameras start running, get a little bit nervous and it affects the
28
play.
Yeah, he's enjoying himself. I mean, the opening end wasn't a bad end for him, and the second end was a very good end. So the confidence was there quite early. Good start again.
Well, Neil's in the area with this one. Just like you say, needs to get his confidence back, Rob, and just get the pace of the rink.
Yeah.
He was muttering something to himself there.
Just having a little word with his family on the side. He's obviously not too confident at this stage. He knows he's having a little bit of a battle there of trying to get some consistency going.
Just wonder if he's questioning his choice of bowls.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously Brian's playing really well with a Tiger. Neil was, as you touched on earlier, Neil was undecided whether to go with a Tiger or a Tiger Pro, and he's probably ruining
Neil short ball.
his decision now.
About an inch short of jack high. An inch short of jack high.
There was a conversation a
18
year or
inches.
so ago, Rob, about the situation of bringing in possibly players being able to change the bowls after the first set of a tournament. And that would be an incident that Neil would probably be interested in taking up now.
Yeah, it's this is the first I've heard of that, Janice. So it would certainly make for some interesting matches.
Well, I think it came up when the conversation was about the pairs, Rob, the fact that in the pairs you
Yeah.
can actually swap who leads and who plays skip after the first set, and then
Yeah.
again before the tie break.
Yeah, that's right. Not often do you see people switching around in pairs matches, but the option is there, like you say,
One red.
and it certainly can turn a match on its head.
Yeah, it was, like I say, it was one of these things. The World Bowls Tour keep looking to change things and move things on, and it would be an interesting one because
It would
it
be.
puts that other element of question in your mind as well. Do I swap bowls?
Well, that's right. Most of the guys at this level now have got a few sets of balls, different models, different sizes and stuff. So I know, I can pick out an example straight away. Nicky Brett, he's always undecided on which model he's going to go with, and yeah, it would be quite good
One
to
shot,
to
Neil
have a
stay.
tournament where you could change your balls during the match.
Set score 7-2 after 7 8.
Well, Neil got a shot on the board there, 7-2. 2 ends to play, he's 5 behind. It's possible. Scores a 3 and a 2. He could get a tie.
Back length 31.5 metres.
Yeah, I think whatever happens, yeah, you're going to see some good balls in the second set coming up. I'm absolutely certain that Neil will get the grips with this and start producing the goods.
He Again, I thought we might have seen the telltale Neil Smith shorter length jack. If you want to come down and watch any live bowls here at Blackpool this week, there's still tickets available for the weekend and some really good games coming up. Following on from this game, we've got Gerard Breen and Connor Sinato. We've got John McCutchinson, who qualified here last year from Scotland, playing Ireland's Neil Mulholland, and Matty Wires playing Billy Jackson. And that's the top half of your draw. But also today, we've got the first game of the second tour card draw, and we've also got Mark McPeak versus Matt Orry. So you've got 2 games this morning, 3 games this afternoon. Rob Chisholm's with me for the first 2 games this morning, then he can go and relax and enjoy his lunch as he's playing second game tomorrow morning.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to the rest of the games today as well. To be honest, looking at some of the matchups, it should be good to watch.
Again, Neil just looking a bit more aggressive, move that jack. What he doesn't want to do really is lose his length here, Rob, when he needs to win the second set.
Yeah, Brian will probably just be trying to play on the high side here, outside the short green ball. Won't be looking to go too deep, I wouldn't think, because Neil can take the ball out for 2 as well. So if he can just get third shot, yeah, it'll be perfect. Finishing really well there.
He's certainly played a considered game so far. So I think going into this game, most people would have had Neil Smith as the favourite. Mr. Consistent at the moment.
Yeah, Brian's just been really steady, hasn't he? He's just drawn away. He's not flustered at all. He's just getting on with it and drawn some really good balls, yeah.
Well, even if that has flicked the jack over to Neil's bowl, I don't think it's going to make any difference to the outcome of this set. It would take us into a final end, but it would mean that Neil Smith would have to score a 4 to tie it. Gives him a lifeline though if he has got shot.
I don't think he'll bend all of this, Janice, but he's give it a go. It's
More on his pace here, Rob, I think.
wow, he was really wide with that line, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's made it all the way back.
Brilliant.
2 shots in the first set to Brian Hawkins.
So 2 shots to Brian. He takes that first set 9-2. Now, what does Neil Smith have to do? Start afresh?
Yeah, Neil will completely change the length here, I would think. Yeah, he's going up with a mat, so it's a short jack length. It's just got to be something completely different and hope that he wins the early exchanges in the first end here.
Well, unusually for Neil, this event, he's normally the first one out there on the rink. He had other commitments, so arrived yesterday afternoon.
Which probably, he's lost the jack.
Not 100% sure what happened there. It's certainly something we can ask Dan Blewett later. It looked like it was the mat that was the problem. I don't think he sent the jack off.
Did he go past the mark with the mat there? Well, I kind of believe that, if that's what's happened. It's a big blow, that, because that could make a massive difference, you know. Brian's back on the length which he's been drawn really well on. And And Neil's got to try and overcome that this very first end. Otherwise, Brian's confidence will be booming again.
I know in the Premier Threes, because I did sit back and listen to the dulcet tones of Mr. David Rees-Jones, commentating on that game, and he sent the jack off quite a few times in the Premier Threes. I wonder if he's just having a bit of a blip on jack delivery, Neil Smith, at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, not very often in this format would you see people lose a jack because you've got that little bit more room. It's a 3-metre tee, so there's plenty of room there to get between the tee and the jack and the ditch. Sorry.
Yeah, normally it's club leagues and nationals. We play 2-metre tees, so that's 2 full metres of the rink behind the tee before the ditch. And as Rob just mentioned, at World Bowls Tour events we play 3-metre tees, so it gives you another metre to stop that jack.
Great second ball there by Neil.
Well,
Just
this is
what he
more
needs
like
at
Neil
this stage.
Smith.
Yeah.
And Brian's in a position where he doesn't have to panic. He's guaranteed a tie break at the worst. Just not reaching with that one.
Chance for Neil just to put the pressure right on here. Is he quite up enough?
Definitely playing a lot different line to Brian with these bowls.
15 inches short of jack high. Gap is 4 inches.
Looks on a wide line here.
Yeah, he will bend most of it, but I think he's just overplayed it a touch.
Yeah, all the way back to the middle.
2 green.
I think that's the right decision by Neil, trying to just drop in on that forehand now. He's got a good ball positioned on the backhand. So Brian hasn't got many options down the backhand.
Needs to move a little bit.
Well, that's fair enough.
Good cover.
That's fair enough there.
And you here at Blackpool Newton Hall. Got a great cafeteria and bar. I've sampled the cafeteria, and I'm assuming at some point you might have sampled the bar, Rob.
Me? No, never.
But yeah, they're both on site for any spectators that want to come down.
Yeah, the facilities are great, yeah. Blackpool, we always enjoy ourselves, yeah.
Most of the players stay on site in the caravans or apartments.
He's
so
cutting it a bit fine here. 1 second to spare.
Wow.
He didn't feel the need to waste the time out there, so he just got on with it and played it.
He certainly didn't seem to rush the bowl, but I don't know whether he's reaching with this.
Make it second with a little glance. Maybe not 2.
2 shot, Neil Smith.
Well, that's a better start for Neil Smith in this second set. Right, now, can we cast this jack where we want it, Neil?
Let's have a look.
Well, it took a bit of time putting the mat down. There is a spot for them to put the mat up to, and also there's little marks on the side of the rink that help the
24.
umpires judge. Yep, he's bang on with that.
Good opener as well, Janice. Just what he needs, a change of length and a good opening ball.
Yeah, that's a nice settler. Sure, there's a few in Wales listening in, Rob, and just showed me a nice picture of your newborn there.
Yeah,
Lovely Hannah will be looking after.
Yeah, he's a one-off. It's a shame Han and baby Evan couldn't be here today, but she keeps us updated with the latest photographs, so it's always quite warming.
Now we'll keep listening in, Hannah. Your man's doing a grand job here in the commentary box, and I'm sure he'll do a grand job out there on the rink tomorrow for you all down there in Wales.
It won't be for the lack of trying.
Well, Brian's just not finding this. Neil's done the right thing to change the length here. Quite interesting. You often see that in games where one player dominates on a certain length.
Yeah, Neil's settled into this change of jack length really well, which is vital really, and good timing. Brian's just got to focus on Neil's back ball out the 3 and try and beat that for second shot. Doesn't want to drop a score. Oh, he's having a little go at it.
And he's going for a run up.
He's got one out.
One away helps.
But it doesn't give him much of a target if he goes back to the draw now, so I think he's committed to just shake this up a little bit.
Neil just coming to have a quick look at that. I don't think he wants to take any of his timeouts, because in Neil's head he'll be wanting to go into a tie break, and he'll want to possibly use those timeouts then. Yeah, got that away. That just proves you can get to the head, get back and deliver your bowl within the 30 seconds. We need to have running training, I think, Rob.
Good position there by Neil. Sensible option, covering the back. It might just force Brian to play a tricky timing shot here, to push and stay on a ball, or maybe just try and spring the jack a yard to 4 feet towards his 2 red balls at the back there. Yeah, I think it'll be a forehand timing shot. Wow.
Lost his bowl.
Yeah, I was
Well-
looking at the clock there and I was getting really worried for him. These things can happen, you know, when
Neil Smith.
you're brand new to the format and the shot clock. It's easy to just switch off.
Does happen, like you say. We've seen 1 or 2. That just shows what happens. That will really shake Brian now, though. He did look up at the clock, Rob, or just whether he thought he had enough time to deliver.
Yeah. He spent a long time on the mat, to be honest.
Don't think Neil likes the look of that jack delivery either. Body language certainly said he wasn't happy.
Oh,
Yep.
he's lost it. Oh.
We even heard the thump then.
Well, it's just something that shouldn't happen. It does happen every now and again, but that's happened twice now in 3 attempts. And just when he would have been really happy with the way he was drawn on that previous end.
Time to just settle again and try and draw a close-ish bowl. Certainly one that I'll be asking Neil about later, the jack delivery. Don't forget, if you want to put your questions to Rob Chisholm, bob them over to us. Neil Smith's in commentary with me for the last game of today. So any questions to him, but don't worry folks, I will be asking him about jack delivery. That's why it's better to come into commentary before you play your game, Rob. Then I haven't got all the questions for you afterwards.
I think depending on whether he wins or loses will determine on how you ask him the questions as well, to be honest.
Yeah, I might stand outside the door when I ask. Oh, Brian's on a good track here. Just overplayed it. There's Neil's two daughters, Katie and Lucy, both good players in their own right.
Yeah, they certainly are. They're a committed family. They travel all over the place together, and they live and breathe. They live and breathe bowls, and when any of them are playing, they're all really supportive, and it's great to see, to be honest.
Yeah, Mandy, Neil's wife, must watch more bowls than most people, I would think.
2 feet.
They do travel together, and it's nice to have that support in the crowd and at home, Rob, to
It is, yeah. It goes a long way. It gives you something to play for. I'm sure Neil, every time he goes on the green, he's just trying to do other people proud rather than himself, you know, which keeps you motivated.
still a bit of room there for Brian. Just needs to adjust on his last delivery. Good
Yeah,
high
I think
track again.
that little mistake with the shot clocks just got him a little bit ruffled up here. He's looking a bit unsettled.
It's a shame, really, because he doesn't need to rush his delivery. He's not going up to the head to have a look at that time, so he had plenty of time to deliver. Neil needs to make the most of it.
He's holding 4 shots, but Brian would be really disappointed if he didn't at least save 2 of those.
Just noticed on Neil Smith's profile, he's actually put runner-up in 3 tour card finals, and then put 4th time lucky with a little smiley face. Well, Brian Hawkins is trying to stop that happening.
He is, and
Brian Hawkins.
like you say, we're probably more than likely going to a tie break here. But Brian will, after picking up that one, he'll be hoping to get at least a draw here to win the match in this second set.
He just needs to settle himself from that shot clock incident. There's no shot clock between the delivery of the jack and his first bowl. So now's the time to just settle himself again.
Yeah, that last ball was vital, wasn't it? It's given him a chance to just calm his nerves again a little bit. Back on a length that he's happy with, so.
He's definitely preferring this backhand draw back down to where the entrance is to Blackpool. Playing it well.
He is.
Quite an important end this, really, Rob, because if Neil can counter shot, it gives him a reasonable lead. But if Brian gets back in this end, it puts the pressure back on Neil, and Neil's body language is not particularly good at the moment. He's not happy.
Brian's putting the pressure on here with the 2 opening balls. It almost certainly makes Neil change to the forehand here. Which, to be honest with you, I'm surprised that Neil didn't open up on this hand anyway. With a slightly steadier ball, this bigger swinging hand probably suits Neil's ball.
Just overplayed again.
2 red. Neil's bowl. 2 feet. Shot bowl. 6 inches short of jack high.
Keep an eye on that clock, Brian.
He's on the countdown again.
Yeah, Brian sticking it out on the wide line. Looking to just pass his own shot ball. If he does match Neil's closest, he'll be happy. Or even the splitting the two at the back is just pretty good. Yeah, like you say, if Brian nicks this end, 4-2 or 4-3 is a really good score. But on the flip side, if Neil counts a 1, it would make a massive difference in the outcome of this set.
Well, that just didn't get back. It looked good all the way. Again, just that extra pound of weight held him off.
Yeah.
Could be looking at 3 down here with 1 delivery left. That's not a good one for Neil Smith. 3 down. Very good place for Brian Hawkins.
Who's going for this? He's running at the jack.
Well,
It's not a
watching
bad
it.
try. He's in
Close.
the area.
Looks close.
He might be unlucky off the ball. Oh, 1 down, I think. He can count himself unlucky there. He did have more than Brian at the back. But I think that could be 1 to red.
Brian put that in a very good place.
He did.
Obviously, umpire being called out.
Yep, measure for shot.
Well, this is a crucial measure,
It
really.
is. It certainly is. This
Now,
will.
do you think Neil's looking for 2? Because they've not removed that shorter green bowl.
It's never easy for us to tell looking at the monitor, but I can't see the back one being in at all. I think it's just a straight measure between the front ball and the red. But I've been wrong before, Janice. The front ball is definitely in.
Yeah, looks like at least 1 green. Neil's obviously having both measured.
2. Wow. Two green.
2 shots. Neil Smith.
That means Neil takes a 6-1 lead after 4 ends in this second set. Does anybody want to send the jack for me, he says.
1-6 after 4 ends.
At least he's having a smile about it, Rob.
I know. Yeah, good. Stick it in a pan and boil it for 5 minutes.
Oh, look.
Well done, Neil. Well done.
Perfect. It is very, very unusual for Neil Smith. Those of you who've watched him over the years, all the various tournaments, he's normally Mr. Steady with jack delivery.
Good opener. Nailed it. Just what he wants at 6-1 up.
Oh, we mentioned before we might see a few tie breaks. We could even have one in the first game here
Yeah.
at
It's looking very likely.
the wonderful Blackpool Newton Hall venue. And of course, kindly sponsored by the Co-operative Funeralcare. They have been heavily involved in bowls at all levels for many years. Great supporters of this tour card event.
Yeah, without the support of the Co-operative Funeralcare, these things wouldn't go ahead. It's as simple as that. So we do thank the sponsors.
Great bowl from Neil there. Well, Brian's looking for dead weight here. Well, I think he might have just overplayed it. It's been a question, really, in this second set, Rob, of Neil grinding this down.
Yeah, there was some hairy moments early in the set where you thought Neil wasn't quite getting the grips with it the way you expected him to, but he'll certainly be happy with being 6-1 up and holding 3 shots.
Yeah, and 3 good shots.
More importantly, he'd be really confident on this particular jack length and how Brian's struggling really to get the grips with it. You'll know that he's got a big advantage going at the trial end, the tie-break ends as a result of that. But Brian's got a result there. I don't know if the jack's gone off the side. It hasn't.
There we go, that's our new ditch cam. Alan Thornhill just checking if that was the toucher that went in the ditch of Neil Smith's. It was, so it remains live.
Out on a good line.
All on his pace, he was chasing it up.
He's got a
Looks like
steadier
it.
touch, Janice. He's got a slower touch here. He's good. He's very good. Well played.
Well, important ball here for Brian Hawkins. I think if Neil's holding shot here.
Yeah, looking for the ball. Oh, he's got it.
Perfect. Good shot that really keeps him
Yep.
in this set. 1 shot to
One
Brian.
shot, Brian Hawkins.
Yep, big end now if he scores. There isn't a great deal in there.
That was a good ball from
That's
Neil
for
Smith
2-6 up 5.
to actually draw a shot. And a great ball from Brian Hawkins to take it off. All seems very calm out there at the moment. I
Yeah.
have a feeling the next game up we might hear a little bit more.
Oh, it'll be a good game to watch. Jared Breen against Connor Sonato.
Connor, of course, was one of the giant killers at the World Championships in January.
Battling
One of the
28 and a half.
youngest men on the circuit again. Very, very strong, supportive family behind Connor. As has Gerard, because Gerard's mum's here.
Yeah. Mum, dad, brother and baby Ollie. Obviously, Ollie he won't be in the arena, but he'd be probably in the cafe with Tina, Jared's mum, watching on the iPad.
Yes, little Ollie was running around yesterday in a grand jumper, as we would say up north. He had a grand little cardigan on. It's amazing to see these youngsters growing up. You see them over the different tournaments. They seem to grow every time you see them.
2 good opening balls. Neil just resting Brian's there for shot.
There's still 4 ends left to play in this second set, and Brian's 4 behind, so 1 shot an end would tie the set for him, and therefore winning the game, as he won the opening set 9-2. For those of you who've just joined us, this is the first game on of the Co-operative Funeralcare European Masters Finals 2016, and these players are playing for Tour Card 1. Three games here to win one of those tour cards. And these players out there have probably won 5 or 6 games to actually get here. 16 players for 2 tour cards. 14 of which have qualified through tour card qualifiers. And the top 2 PBA ranked players. Join them to make up the 16 field.
Yeah, Neil happy to be holding one there, covering the back, just to stop Brian from being able to get it at 2 or a 3. I was very surprised Brian was short with his third ball though. Not surprisingly, he isn't short this time.
Just trying to play that neat draw, and he's just underplayed his last, then overplayed this one.
Yeah. Neil just looking to try and nick another one down the backhand if he can. He won't be too worried if he doesn't quite get back in time. He'll be over the moon with 7-2 lead. He's give this a go if he misses the front ball.
Just
Great
hope it
try.
sits out now, just sat out.
Wasn't much room to be honest, was there?
No, he's 7-2 up now with 3 ends to play in the
Fine shot, Neil
second
Smith.
set. Looks like we might be on for our first tiebreaker of the event here.
Net score 2-7, 6 end.
Again, going to try and, we'll say, attempt his shorter length jack. Mastered it the last time. Actually, that's Gerard Breen's mum sat there with the pink cardigan. It must be Dad looking after little Ollie.
Yeah. I've spoke to Jared about what will happen during his game,
Back length 24 metres.
and he assures me that his mum won't be in the arena. She's a nervous one, so I think he'd probably prefer Tina to be looking after baby Ollie during his match.
Good opener again from Neil. Just needs to keep the ends tight now. They often say the 7th end of a 9-end set is crucial. Neil just doesn't really want to drop a count here. Brian's certainly been shaken up since that shot clock, I think, Rob.
It definitely affected him for an end or two, without a doubt. And as it happens, that particular ball that he was about to play was a crucial ball in itself anyway. It's just one of them things, you know. It's a fatal mistake to make, but it can happen. It won't be the last time we see it happen.
No, even some of the top players have lost the bowls to the shot clock. Remember, John Price has lost one, and famously Greg Harlow lost one, and
Did he?
yeah, there's been various of the top players lost bowls. I remember Greg's correctly, it wasn't a crucial shot. I think he was holding 3, and
Right.
it wasn't really.
Probably winding everybody up, man. Good effort by Brian there. Very close to turning that into a 2. Neil passing down the backhand to make sure he splits Brian's 2 red balls. Doesn't want to drop the 3. Is he quite far enough? Yeah, that's pretty good there. Still a chance for Brian to turn it into a 2 if he gets a clean jack. There may even be an outside chance of making it into a 3 if he gets it towards the left hand side as we see it.
He's playing it off his forehand.
Just underneath it.
And he'd be lucky off that.
Oh my God,
well,
what a
that was
result.
an ultimate result.
He's turned that into a 3. Wow, that's a hell of a result.
3 shots, Brian Hawkins.
Well,
It's a
5-7.
funny old game, as they say.
Wow. think in sets play, there is that element of luck, and
Score 5-7, 7-8.
Neil will certainly be worried now because his lead has been cut to 2 with 2 ends left to play.
Yeah, just got to switch back on and just try and win this end. He's got the last ball, so he'll still be confident. But let's give Brian a chance there where he wasn't looking likely to get a chance.
29 meters.
To be fair, like most players, Brian did apologise to Neil for the...
Yeah, once you've let go of it, there's nothing you can do about the result. It's a common thing for people to show a bit of respect by apologising, but Neil won't be thinking that's softened the blow or anything.
No, needs to really get a bowl in here close now. And Brian can go back into being a bit more relaxed again because he's guaranteed the tie break. Could easily count a shot on both ends here.
1 red.
Yeah, 1 red to him at the moment. Alan Thornhill just confirmed that.
Just looking to pass his own ball. A few inches on that ball guarantees him the shot. He's not bad, just hang around for long.
Doesn't want to get a nibble on the jack and sit down. Doesn't want to give 2 away.
Yeah, he's unlucky. I think he's just 1 down, but
Gap
great
on the
effort.
shot bowl is 2 inches. Yeah, 3 inches past.
I'm a great believer, Janice, that you get a lot more confidence out of a lucky shot than what you actually do from producing a great shot, you know. Brian will be feeling like he can't really do anything wrong after a result like that.
No, he doesn't want to return the favour to Neil there, didn't. Thought he was going to perhaps get that solid.
Neil hasn't got a lot on here, to be honest. He doesn't want to play with weight and whip his own ball out. He's just 1 down, and he's kind of half settling for 1 down, because even just a draw and turning his own ball once would probably make him go 2 down.
Just had a quick glance at the score there as he walked up. I think this is an important time to take your time for both players.
Yeah.
Like, see if you see the head there, as Rob mentioned, if Neil even sits his own bowl down, he doesn't want to give 2 shots away. He'd be happier going into the final end still 1 shot up, but then makes it an end that he has to win. We're on the yeah, 7 seconds. He thought about it that time, Rob.
Once bitten, twice shy. Will he actually play this himself? Yeah. Will he take a bit of a chance and try and? I don't think he will. I think he'll probably just cover the back, but he probably realises that Neil hasn't got a lot on either.
Well,
He's playing it.
yeah,
He's
down
trying to
tight
get this
to
green
line.
ball.
He looks close to it, Rob.
He's just under, you know. Oh, what a ball that was. That was a brave shot, and he's played it perfectly.
Probably holding 3 now, actually.
He is. Well, it was just a great shot. I'm
Okay.
very surprised he played it, because there wasn't that much that obviously he's turned it into 3, but you know, he was pretty much guaranteed the 1 as it was. That could have just opened things up for Neil to give him a chance to win the set there. But as it's turned out, happy days.
All seemed to hinge on that 1 lucky bowl. Neil just having a word with his family again there, walking up to the mat.
Big shot coming up, yeah.
Well, Neil doesn't cut this count down. He would be one shot behind playing
Doesn't
the last
like it.
end.
Doesn't like it. He must be high. Well, all of a sudden Neil's one down playing the last end here. Quite incredible.
He's got 2 threes now at 2 consecutive
3
ends.
shots, Brian Hawkins.
Ryan Hawkins now leads by 1 shot going to the last end, which means that Neil Smith has got to counter 2
Score 8-7.
to take us into that tie break that we thought was well on the cards at one point there, Rob.
Yeah, astonishing. It just, it just goes to show how a game can change on one. I was going to say fortunate result, but it was a bit more than fortunate, to be honest.
And with Brian setting the length of Jack, Brian puts one of these bowls, early bowls,
20
close.
Yeah,
What do we
that's
say?
the goal, isn't it? Now, just make sure the first ball puts the pressure on Neil well and truly.
Well, Neil Smith, who's qualified in the past for all the World Bowls Tour events in his own right, as well as having wild cards. He's been to 3 tour card finals. One of the favourites going into the tournament here for this tour card 1. Could we be seeing one of the favourites fall at the first hurdle to Clary Dunbar's Brian Hawkins?
It's a big cushion, isn't it? 1 shot up, knowing that Neil needs 2 to force the tie break.
To be fair, Brian's played very well.
He has.
It's the first time he's been at one of these events at this level. He certainly doesn't seem to have been flustered. All about just playing your game. It's easier said than done sometimes.
Is he up here? I think he's dropped us a yard short. Just looking to get a close second. Brian at this stage
2.5 inches past Jack high. The gap is 4 inches.
doesn't need to change his hand. Just take a little bit of speed out.
Just overplayed it again. Didn't want to be short, but just overreached. Few nerves might be just getting involved in this end now. Now Neil really needs to get this in.
Yeah. Doesn't necessarily need to get too close. If he just kind of matches Brian's nearest, just on the heavy side would be nice, but he's certainly not past the jack here. He may actually, well, that is counting, so it's ended up quite decent.
It's ended up not in a bad place really, because it's moved across into
Yeah.
Brian's line. Do you think Brian's gearing up to play a
Well,
runner here?
he is. He's going to run at this.
Looks in the area.
He certainly is in the area.
Looks very close. Oh, what a great bowl that
Oh.
is. Wow.
Wow.
Absolute ultimate result again, Rob.
It was ultimate result. He did hit that one, just about perfectly. But to end up within 4 inches, 5 inches from the jack, just gives Neil we're next to nothing on. I think Neil, the only chance he's got here is by trying to get Brian's jack high ball on the inside edge and just trying to push and stay on the second one.
It's it'll definitely take at least 1, if not 2 timeouts here.
Yeah, I think so.
He can take 2 consecutive, 3 consecutive. He can take all his timeouts in one end if he wants.
It's just whether Neil can get past the left-hand short green ball with enough speed to get the first ball thin and the second ball clean out, because it does look like he's got 2/3 shots.
To be fair, it's the only shot he's got
Yeah,
on, really, Rob. There's
exactly.
nothing else for him.
You must think there's a bit of a chance. He's playing it down the backhand, so he's trying to get the right-hand side of the shortest red ball first, and hoping that he gets both balls out. Don't think he'll get back in time.
Flicks the jack out. Does he get the respot? He's missed it.
Two shots, second set, and the match to Brian Hawkins.
So Brian Hawkins takes the opening game here. 9-2, 10-7, and we really have our first shock of the event. Neil Smith, one of the favourites, out. Brian Hawkins from Clary Dunbar through.
Well, once more, ladies and
Thanks
gentlemen,
very much
show
for your
appreciation to
time
two
in the commentary
players.
box. Rob, you're with me for the
Good
next
match
game as
for you.
well.
Yep, look forward to the next game, and you know, I've enjoyed my first game this morning, so long may it continue.
Join us after this short break for Gerard Breen versus Connor Sinato.
Just waiting for our cameraman. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed your first match of the day, and for your second match, we'll bring the players on. Well, this first gentleman is from Kinnan Valley in Wales. He's the former winner of the Super 8 Champion of Champions, a rising star in Wales. Please welcome Jared Breen. And up against Jared, ladies and gentlemen, he qualified from New Earswick. He's an English under-25 international with the nickname of the Ginger Ninja. Let's welcome Connor Senato.
Thanks very much there, Richard. We're in for what we consider a humdinger of a game here, Rob. Gerard Breen versus Connor Sinato, two of the young stars of WBT events in the past, both qualified in their own right for various different tournaments. And here they are matched up in this Tour Card 1.
Yeah, the two youngest guys in the competition, bringing a little bit of flair, as you touched on earlier. I don't think Connor will be frightened to bring out the big drives if they're needed.
Connor qualified here at when we held the Super Bowl event, and he certainly made a name for himself then. Yeah, he made a name for himself there, made a good few friends as well. Certainly took the Crown Green game, or the bowlers of the Crown Green game, into his heart and enjoyed the company.
He certainly did. He enjoyed himself, and he enjoyed himself at Potters as well. Getting a big scalp or two there as well, so he can rise to the occasion, that's for sure. And the same can be said for Jared. Losing the Tour Card final last year to Gary Smith in what can only be described as an absolutely exceptional last ball from Gary Smith, when Jared had pretty much everything covered. He couldn't have done anything more.
Yeah, it was an exceptionally, well, both the finals here last year were really, really good finals. And I think most of us thought that Gerard had got that game won, and there's only one, Gary Smith, and he played an awesome last bowl, virtually an inch to draw it,
Yeah.
and he did. So yeah, both of them fairly confident players, play a lot of bowls.
International experience as well. Connor, a current under-25 international, and Jared is a current full Welsh international skip. So even though they've still got youth on the side, they've also experienced the game at the top level already.
Yeah, as we mentioned before, Rob, both got very, very supportive families, which always helps. Connor's parents and grandparents are here, and as you mentioned earlier, Gerard's parents, brother and young son Ollie, are here supporting.
Yep. Tina and Ollie will be in the cafe watch on the iPad, I'm sure. Tina gets quite nervous, so She's probably prefers to be slightly out the way watching on.
So first blood there to Connor. One shot. And as we mentioned before, this was certainly one of the games that we were all looking forward to when the draw came out.
Yeah, I agree. It certainly stood out for me straight away. But there's some other good contests coming up after this as well, so it makes for good viewing for the full day ahead.
Yeah, and again, both of these players will be well aware that whoever wins this game will face up against Brian Hawkins, who's just taken the scalp of one of the favourites, Neil Smith. So it's a big game here.
Jared using a Henslide Tiger, which is quite a strong bias ball, and he's preferring to play the wider hand out of the two as well, so he'll be needing to chuck them right out there.
I believe Connor's opted for his Drake's Pride Professionals. He's one of the Drake's Pride players. He did play here last time with XPs, but he's got quite swingy professionals as well, and those are what he's playing with today, he tells us. Size 3s. And Gerard qualified at the same venue as your good self down in Wales there.
Yeah, he did. The second time in a row now. Both of us have missed each other in the draw and come through to qualify at the same time.
And the interesting thing is that Connor travelled to New Earswick to get his tour card. And he's playing one of the winners from Kinnan Valley. And interestingly enough, your opponent's the other New Earswick tour card qualifier.
Yeah, that's right. Playing Jason Norris, second game tomorrow, so we'll look forward to that.
Yeah, join us for that, folks. We've got full day's play for you today. We have a short break for lunch after this game, and then we have John McCutchinson versus Neil Mulholland, who's currently out practicing on one of the outside rinks, and then Matty Wires versus Billy Jackson. And the final game of today is the first game of Tour Card 2, which is Mark McPeak and Matt Orrick. Yeah, both Mark McPeak and Neil Mulholland are out on the rink 7 there practicing, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, it's a slightly different rink to this one.
Now, that will just be checked, but I think he delivered that before the bell went, the buzzer went.
Yeah, he did, definitely. And he's homing in for another shot, yeah. Definitely holding 3, probably 4.
A great ball there from Connor.
Jared might just decide to play the backhand right through it. It's either that or a dead draw down the forehand, which doesn't look easy. Sticking with the forehand, just looking to pass his own ball to save.
It's still a nice wide draw there, Rob. It'll make it all the way back.
Oh yeah, he'll know that the line's not a problem.
Four shots, Connor Sonata.
So it was 4 shots to Connor.
Yeah, he takes a 5-0 lead there. It's a great opening start for Connor.
Jack 31 meters.
Gerard really needs to just get in on one of these ends and look a bit more aggressive perhaps at it, Rob, because Connor's not going to give up this.
No, he started really well, Connor. Jared's just looking to get himself settled on a length here.
Nice view in now, watching.
Just leaving his opening ball short, Jared. He'll be looking to put that right as soon as he can. A good line. Still just left it though.
18, short of jack high.
Yeah, both fairly quick players. I don't think they'll get tested by the shot clock.
No, I don't think so. No.
They've both played under the shot clock at different tournaments, so they are used to it. Connor's certainly got off to a flyer here.
Yeah, great stuff.
Big confidence player is Connor. I got the chance to actually play with him in the WIBC mixed pairs over in Jersey. Thoroughly enjoyed that week out there. It was a great competition, and Connor came in as a last minute sub because one of the intended players couldn't make it. And it was a delight to play with the young man. Don't know whether he'd say the same about having to play with me. Probably needed broad shoulders. Great bowl here again, Connor.
Yeah, you can't argue with that. In the area here, Jared would prefer the jack to spring out the side door. Could be. Looks pretty close for shot to me. One red, I believe.
Measure for shot.
Measuring for shot, but Jared's put the mat down. He's super confident he's holding the one there.
Well,
Shot,
umpire
Garrett Green.
Francis Fletcher making the decision there for the boys. And it's one shot to Gerard Breen. He gets on the scoreboard.
Match score 1-5 after 3 ends.
You can tell that Francis Fletcher was a school teacher. Very, very good pronunciation out there. Our marker is Dan Blewett.
Jack left 28.5 metres.
And the new WBT TV umpire, Dan McManus, is, I believe, on shot clock.
Yeah, just a yard short again. Slightly different jack length here. Looking to get himself settled into the match. Another good opening ball by Connor. Started this match really well. Already forcing Jarrett to change his hands.
Yeah, Connor certainly settled in well this opening set. We play 2 sets of 9 ends and if necessary a 3-end tie break. We thought the first game this morning was going to go to a tie break. But Brian Hawkins won that 2 straight sets, 2-0.
Looking good, yeah. Certainly a better speed. He'll bend all of this.
Is he reaching? Just give up.
Just failed by inches. Good effort again by Connor. Looking to close the door completely.
Turns his back on that, Rob.
He did. He knew it was never reaching. Now, Jared's been out in Australia playing in the Junior World Cup just recently. And he did say that getting back used to our indoor carpets wasn't easy, as the greens out there are quite a bit quicker. Connor looking to nick another shot, yeah. Holding 2 as it is, and this looks like number 3. Brilliant balls, it's got to be said.
3 shots.
4 very good balls. Setting a high standard straight away here.
Set score 1-8 after 4 ends. Jack knight 31 meters.
Again, Connor just settling down here. To the disturbance. There's no shot clock between the jack and first delivery, so he can take his time.
Decided on a full length jack. And he's opened up very nicely again.
He's moved club recently. He plays out of Kingsthorpe, Northampton. Went over there to start to play with the players the likes of Neil McKee. Gerard's not just happy at the moment, Rob, out there. You can tell by his body language.
Yeah, he's just, you know, I think it's purely because Connor started so well. The pressure's been straight onto Jared from the off, you know, but I'm sure he'll get to grips with it, and he'll probably already thinking that he's looking to use the next couple of ends just to get used to the speed of the green, and hoping that the second set starts much more in his favour.
Yeah, that's the joy of having 2 sets. As we mentioned in the first game, you've got a chance to regroup for the second set, but Connor's playing so well here. He's in the area again, pulling up a bit short, but it'll be good enough to count for 3.
3-3.
What they're watching is Tom Warner, Along with the grey jacket, he's the last game on of the first rounds tomorrow. He's the game on at 2 o'clock. He plays Tony Webb. That's in the second tour card. Connor looks a little bit wider. Perhaps not wanting to make too much of a target for Gerard here.
3 green.
Still think Gerard just really needs to settle and get his drawing weight.
Yeah, he's just decided to keep drawing away and just hope that it clicks into place.
Well, if it gets a bit of an edge off that and sits down, might have got shot.
Could well be.
Marker quickly to chock that bolt.
1 shot on a Sonata.
So 1 to green it is, and Connor takes a 9-1 lead after
9 after 5 ends.
5 ends of this first set in this second game of Tour Card 1. This game will meet Brian Hawkins tomorrow afternoon in the semi-final.
31 meters.
Just dropping short again then, Gerard.
Out on a good line. He's not pushing them. Not pushing through. He's opening delivery anyway. Improvement there.
1 red.
Well, just to count at a couple of the ends, Rob would get his confidence back.
Yeah, that's right. Get some consistency going and great reply by Connor again.
I was just looking at Gerard's player profile and don't want to even try and attempt to pronounce where his outside club is. I think it ends in Goch. What? Gilfach? Goch?
Gilvac Gok.
Oh, I wasn't far off.
I'm still learning myself, Janet. It's not easy.
It's interesting because I was down there in the
1 green.
international series, which was played at Llanelli, and of course a few were commenting on the fact that my surname's Gower and it's a Gower Peninsula.
That's right. That's where I live, actually, right on the border of the Gower Peninsula.
It's certainly beautiful down there. We had a
It is.
ride out in our day off to have a bit of a look round there.
Yeah, it's a nice part of the world. Been there for 5 years now, and a lot more years to come just yet.
I'm sure Hannah will be pleased to hear that.
1 green.
Tell you what, Connor is certainly turning on the style here.
He is. I kind of felt he's set a really high standard here for not only Jared in this match, but for everybody else in the tournament, I think.
Great effort from Jared. I think he's still the one down though.
One shot. Connor Sonato.
10-1 to Connor after 6 ends. Connor's joining me in the commentary box for the
Score 110. after
Matthew
6
Wyers
ends.
Billy Jackson game this afternoon. I wonder if that might be the curse, because Neil Smith's joining me later, so he unfortunately just lost his game.
Yeah, it's got to be said, Neil can class himself to be really unlucky in the second set, which he lost. He held a really good lead. And Brian's comeback started with one very fortunate result, but then
Playing 31 metres.
produced some really good balls as well to top it off.
I certainly think both these players out here we will see for a good number of years, but prediction on Connor, if he keeps this form up, he could be one of the youngsters knocking on the doors of the top 16 over the next few years.
Yeah, it's what everyone strives for. Anybody who plays the game looks to try and be a top 16 player one day, and Connor's no different. And the way he's playing, who knows, he could well get there very soon.
And this tour card certainly does help. I mean, Mark Dawes from this very same club in Blackpool Newton Hall, he got a tour card 3 years ago and then forced his way by winning games when he got to the events at the Scottish, the World Championships and the International Open, and he's now sat for the last 2 seasons in the top 16.
Yep.
It is possible. It's not easy when you get there though, Rob, because quality players, you're coming up against the top 16. It's not that easy to just turn round games when you get there.
No, I think I'm always a believer in the first game being a massive game in any event, but particularly in these WBT events, you know for a fact you're going to be playing one of the very best players in the world in the first round. So it's a massive game.
Connor's holding 3 again here. And 7. Gerard's got to score. Got to get on this scorecard. That's cut the count down to 2. Even so, 12-1. 2 ends left to play. Even with my poor mathematics, Rob, I think that works out as set over.
Yeah, Jared's just saying to himself, the set's over now, and put all his attention into the start of the next set and hope that it turns round into his favour.
Well, he was just looking to tuck the jack away there and nearly did it.
Yeah.
I thought it looked perfect halfway down. Gerard's played a bit more positive. This'll hang off here.
Yep, set over. 12-1 to Connor.
First set. Connor Sonato.
Yeah, after 7 ends, Connor Sinato, the young man from Northampton, Kingsthorpe, has won the first set 12-1, and we go into the second set. Well, Jared's picking the jack up. He needs to really change something about here.
Looks like he's going to opt for mat up and a short length jack. Crucial first end, isn't it? At this stage now, he's lost the first set heavily. Completely new jack length. Big moment coming up.
Yeah, doesn't want to really let Connor into this set straight away.
Jack length 24.5 metres.
And counting 1 shot at this end would settle the situation for the Welsh boat that's out there at the moment.
Good opener.
Gerard plays in the Grand Prix and the Super 8 over at Lincoln. He's listed those as he was the winner of in 2015. He won the Welsh Champion of Champions back in 2012. As you mentioned, been strong on the junior and senior international front right since 2008. So plenty and bags of experience out there. And Gerard, can he call on that now?
Yeah, both guys have played in this format many times, so Connor will also know that it doesn't matter what the score was in the first set. This is a fresh new game here in the second set, so he'll know that he's got to stay switched on.
Might be all down to the weight of this bowl. It looked on a good line. It's drifted through. Connor sticking to this forehand draw. Slight adjustment on his last delivery.
Yeah, still just overplayed it pace-wise. Again on a good line. Jared looking to put that big one in now.
Yeah, 2 or 3 at this first end would be very handy.
It would. Will he get under the shot ball? Looks like he's just going to get wrecked on it. Still counting though. He hasn't left Connor with a running option, so... Oh, even though he is going to go for it.
Yep, playing a runner.
He knows the jack's worth 3 if he gets it nice. Oh, he could be 2 down still on the spot.
Didn't just quite get it clean. We think it's gone out of the side confines of the rink. Yeah, Dan Blewett just putting the jack back on the re-spot there.
Might it even be 3? Definitely 2 to red.
One shot, Connor Sinatra.
Oh,
One green.
just
There
goes
you
to
go.
show,
Our
doesn't it?
camera angles. Yeah. Great result there for Connor then.
Well, unless there was a ball that we couldn't see in the camera shot, it's...
It certainly looked like the level bowl of Gerard's was at least shot.
He could have, to be honest, he could have got a better result. I mean, half an inch tighter, and he picks up 3 shots. Connor there. It was a brave shot because there was room to draw, and there was only really a bare jack or flicking one ball out.
Yeah, very much a confidence player, Connor. Youth on his side as well. What a great opening bowl again. Well, I'm sure all those players that are sat out there watching this game that have still yet to play in the tournament, certainly those that are in this tour card 1 will be thinking the fact that they need to be playing as well as, if not better than, this young man, Connor Sinato. Another good ball.
Yeah, he's playing really well on this jack length. He's playing a full length jack, and he's just not missing, to be honest. Something wrong with this one. Just under the line.
One green. Jared's bowls. The nearest on the inside is 3 inches short of jack high. The other one's 4 inches short of jack high.
Asking the marker there for some measurements on where bowls are sat. Creates the picture in his head.
2 green.
Plays the shot.
Brilliant. Trying a timing shot here, Jared, making sure he's reaching here.
Well, the track looks very good.
Yeah, he's might just go away. He's close to the white here.
Oh, great bowl.
It is a great ball. He played that really well.
1 red.
I think Connor will be laying down his forehand here, just looking to trail that jack through.
Looks nice, doesn't it? There's a bit of a shoulder there on Jared's side ball as well.
Certainly what he'll be trying. Ultimate result would be 3, possibly 4 shots, but tough shot to play. Just over played it, I think.
Yeah. Think he'd be taking the one here, do you reckon?
Aye. I was just thinking that myself, Rob. What do you do here? If he gets a bit of a nudge on his own shot bowl, it could go worse.
1 shot, Jared Breen.
Oh, we might be seeing Dan Blewett sending this ball back down, I think. 1 shot to Jared Breen. Ties up the second set. 1
Set
shot
score
all.
1-1 after 2 ends.
After 2 ends. Right decision there, Rob, I think.
Yeah, definitely. They didn't look. If Jared's shot ball was practically touching the jack, he may have had a little spring shot on the backhand. But because there was a slight gap, it could have went really badly wrong.
Jack length 24.5 metres.
All about Gerard really keeping that first bowl close.
Yeah, good opener again on this length. In fact, pretty much identical to his last opener in this direction.
And Connor's down a good track. All dependent on his weight here. He can
Yeah.
make it all the way back if it's the right weight.
Good effort.
And Connor's family in the background of the picture there. Mum, Dad and grandparents. They were stuck in a bad accident on the M6 yesterday. Actually stationary for about 2.5, 3 hours.
Yeah, they've had some bad luck on the roads of late. Connor's dad told me a story about a journey which they had on the way to Melton Mowbray a few weeks ago, and it was actually a fatal accident where Martin sort of helped get people out of the car.
Great goal by Gerard here.
Yeah,
Yes.
brilliant. Leaves a target here. Connor will probably go at this. He doesn't usually turn down an opportunity like this. Doesn't like it.
Like that. Yeah, it's not easy on the roads nowadays. We were saying about travelling to events. There's one of today's players I haven't actually seen yet, and you always worry if they going to get stuck in traffic. You've got to give yourself plenty of time, Rob.
You have. And when you're getting old like me, you've got to get here nice and early anyway. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to bowl after a long journey, that's for sure.
No, it's not easy sitting in a car for 5 or 6 hours and then having to get out and bowl. Far better to spend 3 or 4 hours in a commentary box and then go out and practice, Rob.
Jared's put that in a great spot. He's doing some damage, maybe flicking one out.
Yeah, got rid of one.
One shot, Jared Breen.
2-1 up.
Score 2-1 after 3 ends.
It's not bad. Needs to just keep it going. He's put his mat back this time. Might be going short the other way. Shaking up the length on Connor here.
Jack now 25 metres.
Half a metre further. His last delivery, Jack, but different area of the rink. Plays differently.
He probably just thought to himself, if he plays Matt up and Jack on the tee again, it leaves Connor with a get out of jail shot. Jack in the ditch.
Some rinks you'll play, and when a Jack's in this sort of position, you're finding a lot tighter line. But here, there's still a good swing even on
There
the
is.
shorter length Jacks.
Yes, there is certainly that. He's out on a better line here.
Good line again from Connor. He's adjusted the pace, and this is a great ball. Yeah, just wins it, I think. Good view of the bowls there. Of course, if you're in a World Bowls Tour event and you're top of the draw, you play with a red shirt and with red bowls. And if you're bottom of the draw, you play with a green shirt and green bowls. Sometimes players have to swap and change bowls as the tournament progresses. And again, that's something that a lot of the top players, Rob, they have their own red and green bowls, but we do have a pool of bowls at the WBT that players can use if they haven't their own red and green bowls.
Yep, and there's leading up to the first round, there's always plenty of time to get some practice on, so the players are quite fortunate that there is time there to get used to new tools if they need to. Chance yet to make a 3.
Yeah, certainly changing the length. Matt back short Jack hasn't helped Gerard's cause. And Hawkins sat there in the blue shirt watching to see what his next opponent will be like. And Connor is certainly bang on the money at the moment.
Shots, Connor Sonata.
Set score is 2-4 after 4 ends.
I had breakfast this morning with Connor in the cafe here, and he was reminiscing back to the Super Bowl and all the stick he got off the Crown Greeners, and he really took it on board. He loved playing that event. He played in the pairs with Wayne Ditchfield, known as the Beast.
Aye, the Beast. Haven't seen him. Is he around this year?
Well, at this time of year, he's busy out on the Crown earning his money.
True.
round about Isle of Man festival time, which is one of the big events that Wayne is always featured in the last few. There's over 1,000 players go to the event over there, and it's one of the biggest prize money winners. So sure he'll be listening in at some point, but yes, he'll be wanting to earn a little bit of money this weekend.
Fair enough. Got to pay the bills. Yeah, it's changed his previously on this length. Jared was playing the other hand, so he's opened up with a better shot this time. But Connor's just playing 4 really good balls end after end on this length, isn't he? So he's going to take some beating.
He might have just tipped that jack to Gerard's bowl, but
Yeah, I think he has.
Your bowl gap is 1.5 inches. Connor's bowl is 2.5 inches.
And that's behind the jack, my bowl, yeah?
Yeah, your bowl is past jack high by 3 inches.
for those of you that are able to tune in to us, I know it's a Friday, so some people will be at work. At 2 o'clock this afternoon, we have John McCutchinson versus Neil Mulholland and Matt Wires versus Billy Jackson. Those are the 2 games that complete Tour Card 1's lineup. And then we also have the first of Tour Card 2's lineup, which is Mark McPeak versus Matt Orry. And if you can't stay with us today, pick up the results on worldbowlstour.tv and definitely join us for your Saturday morning breakfast when we have 2 really good games on the cards. From Tour Card 2, we've got Michael Stepney versus Gary Smith and Jason Norris versus one Robert Chisholm. And we carry on through at 2 o'clock Saturday, right through to the finals are at 2 o'clock on Sunday. Some great games on the cards, really, Rob,
There
in
is.
both tour cards.
Yeah, I think we both agree that this is probably the strongest lineup in this particular event. Last year's was a very strong lineup as well, but I think this year's probably just tops it.
Yeah, and of course the two tour card winners from last year, which were Gary Smith and yourself, Robert. You're both in the same half of the draw this time, so we've got to get at least one new tour card winner here.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's testament to your own playing capabilities that you've got back here again by coming through qualifiers. Yourself at the Welsh qualifier, and just in case he's listening, Mr. Gary Smith from the qualifier at Falkirk, where his good lady went in to do the first round draw while Gary and I were busy having a nice hour's practice. While she's in there, she drew his number and my number out and drew us against each other the first game.
Never.
I know.
One red.
Was it tight?
It was, actually.
it?
I think I was the closest to him all day, so I've got to say I'm quite happy with that.
Can it be bad?
No, Gary was exceptional that day. He played a couple of bowls in the final that, again, going back to, he sometimes comes up with these bowls that nobody else can play, and he finds them.
He's a class act. He probably he would admit himself that maybe the first round is where he's most vulnerable, but certainly as he progresses in competitions, he's always improving as rounds go on, and he's a winner. So
Certainly got some good games for you here over the next few days. Stay with us when you can. Again, we're open to any questions that anybody has. Pop them to us on streaming chat or Facebook. And we'll put them to either one of the players, one of the officials, or one of the World Bowls Tour directors here. And we'll get back to you. If we don't get back to you live on air, we will get back to you in the chat.
it's a good end, Janice. Good standard.
One go. Garrett Green.
Great bowls there
Connor has 3
from
times
both players.
Set score is 3-4 after 5 ends.
One shot certainly keeps him in this second set. That was the sort of ends we were expecting from this game, to be fair.
Yeah, he's tried a few different things with the mat and jack. It's be interesting to see what he does here.
Well, when he opted for the mat back and the short
Yeah,
jack,
that's-
he dropped the 3,
that's
so
right.
he's gone a bit further.
Yeah, he's gone long.
Jack
Well,
line
this
30.5
was the
metres.
probably the length that Connor was most dangerous on this backhand.
Yeah, certainly in the first set he dominated on this length.
It's all about getting that first ball close, isn't it? It can dictate then what the opposition does.
Well, he's left Connor room there. It's a good track.
Yeah, he's good again.
Still a little bit of room. Might force Gerard onto his forehand, yeah. Also, don't forget, viewers, if you'd like to pop in and watch live, there's still some tickets available for the Saturday and Sunday. And we've got a great venue here. Good catering facilities, good bar. Proud to say it's my home club, so I'm always going to be a little bit biased on that one.
No, it's a great venue. Been coming here for the last few years now, and always enjoy.
One red. Your bowl, 14 inches.
I think all of the World Bowls Tour venues have their own differences. This is probably what you'd say was the most intimate venue because the ceiling is low and also the spectators are very close to the sides of the rinks. And
Good
of
ball,
course,
yeah. The count 2.
Here we play on the actual rink 2 as well, so it's not the portable rink. Portable rink certainly has certain shots that are difficult to play on it, whereas here, this rink, you can play all the shots. Close.
Good effort.
Yeah, that was always the possible outcome, though, if he got onto the jack, because the jack was always going towards Gerard's.
Yeah, I think
bowl.
you'd be a bit disappointed that he hasn't left a bit more room there for himself to draw back in again. Gerald will be happy with that. Big opportunity to put a lot of pressure on here by counting to 3.
Come back.
Yeah, just taking his time, quite rightly so.
Come back.
Well, this second set's certainly a close affair, which is, I think, how we thought both sets were going to go. And Connor Sinato dominated the first set. Got out of the blocks very early. Gerard's played a very good bowl here.
Yeah, very good. Brilliant.
3 red.
Just leaves Connor with just one option, I think. He's just got a dead draw. Hoping to get at least third shot.
Steadying himself there, I think, Rob. We don't have side monitors here, so he can't have been looking at the side monitor. I
No.
think he was just steadying himself. Well, his track looks very good.
Yeah, he's just not up enough yet. It's probably the loosest end he's played on this length. But again, I think that's probably dictated by Jared's good balls, which he wasn't quite doing early on in the match.
Well,
Set
Gerard
score is
Breen,
6-4 after 6 ends.
6-4. Big difference now.
It certainly is.
Seventh end.
Yeah, he's mixing it up now, so he's he's brought the mat up coming in this direction. He's playing two different jack lengths completely in the two different directions.
I'm sure Mum's sat somewhere nervously, watching
Jack
in,
24
listening
and a
in.
half meters.
As you say, I remember last year she tended to sit out in the players' area rather than actually in the arena itself.
Yeah, she does. She gets very nervous. She'll be pacing the floor somewhere.
A little bit of a loose opener, perfect line. Connor better, just overplayed again, but good bowl, good reply. And Connor didn't like that.
Just a bit over. Chance now for Jared just to play the big one. Kind of fault the lines of the balls. Just looking to take that yard out. Still just up. It's easily done on the wide lines, Janice. You know, when you're getting out there on that wider line, it's easy just to pass the jack.
Just over 2 feet, 1 green.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be a quicker line out there.
You green.
Well, again, all the pressure back on Gerard. 3 green to Connor at the moment.
Again, he's on a good line. Has he took the pace out of it? I don't think he has, you know.
Needs to move now. Might have got second.
Yeah, just 2 feet, wasn't it?
I mean, all 4 bowls from Gerard there were perfect green.
Going down to the wire. It's going down to the last end, yeah.
Well, Connor didn't like that.
No, he's up again. 2 green, I believe.
2 shot, Connor Sonata.
Well, that ties it all up at 6 all after 7 ends. 2 ends left to play, Rob.
Yeah,
Really
That
tight
score
finish
is
to this
6-2
set.
After 7 ends.
I think both players out there are just changing their minds a little on what length of jack to play. Connor dominated so much on that longer length jack in the first set. If it's not broke, don't fix it, they
Jack
say.
31 meters.
Longer than the portable ring here at Blackpool, which causes some players to just forget that they have to give it that extra little push.
Yep, it's certainly when the International Open's played here. It's only a few weeks after Potters, so that is kind of when it does seem at its most difficult to adjust.
Quite a number of clubs now opting for the blue carpet. They've seen it on TV, so decide to Adopt it for the club. They're both a bit nervy opening bowls here. Connor looks a better line.
Yeah, he's good, yeah. Wow, doesn't look a clean road draw-wise, which is probably why he'll just be reaching this. He'll know that if he just passes the head, he won't finish badly.
Yeah, his own bowl's probably stopping the forehand there on the
Yeah.
perfect draw.
On green.
Now, a big opportunity here for Connor to just close this down. He's in the fortunate position that he knows worst case scenario he gets a tie break. He won the first set 12-1. This is the set Gerard Breen's got to win.
Yeah, I'd like to see
Agree.
Jared play the forehand if he's playing the speed that he played last time.
Needs to really change something with this bowl as
Yeah,
well.
just
Doesn't want to
looking
leave it to his last bowl.
Just looking to get inside his own ball. Looks just under me as if he's getting wrecked on the shortest green one.
Actually made it just under the very short green
Yeah.
one, but that's certainly not made anything any easier for him. Connor's just looking at the angles here. He'd be quite happy to pick up the 2 and take it into the last end. 2 shots up, because that would mean Gerard Breen would have to score 3 shots.
Yeah, Connor's only got one ball left, obviously, and he can't cover everything, so he'll be just making his mind up whether to put another one in there
Mechanical.
or play the deepest back ball. Because Jared has got either the option of taking both balls out for 2 or jack in the ditch for 2. Looks like he's going to just play past the jack on the forehand. Well, he's on an inside line for making sure he was passed. Doing enough.
Yeah, good position there. Mentioned earlier, youngest player in the tournament here. Connor Sinato.
Yeah, chance here for Jared. Both balls out. It doesn't matter if he catches the front green and kills the jack at the same time to the left-hand side as we'll view it.
Close to it. Might just
You-
get the jack.
Yeah, he could be unlucky, yeah.
Missed everything. Well,
2 shots. Connor Sinatra.
that now leads Gerard Breen. Was needed to score 3 shots on the last end of this
Score is
second set.
6-8 after 8 ends.
Otherwise, the youngest man in the event, Connor Sinato, moves into the second round where he'd meet the oldest man in the event, Ryan Hawkins. Like I said earlier, full of pieces of useless information, Rob.
No, Brian played really steady early today. He started the match really well for it being his first
21 metres.
televised event. He's was quite impressed, actually.
Well, Connor just needs to put something close. Jared's got all the pressure on him to score the 3.
Who's in the commentary box for the third match then, Janice? The next one.
The next one up, we've got Dan Blewett, who's currently out there marking this game. So if anybody's got any questions to put to an umpire, we'll certainly be asking about that Neil Smith jack earlier. And then the game after, it's the young man that's out there at the moment, Connor Sinato, that's joining me for the Matty Wise Billy Jackson game. And then Neil Smith is joining me for the last game today, Mark McPeak versus Matt Horry, which gives you the afternoon off to get yourself ready for tomorrow morning.
Yes.
I do thank you for joining me this morning though, Rob, because
It's been a pleasure.
the early games in the early rounds, it's quite good to sit and watch. And
One red.
Yeah, no, I enjoy myself in the commentary box. It probably makes you watch the game more closely and sort of pick up on things that you wouldn't usually pick up on if you were just watching at a glance.
yeah, this just wants to be somewhere near. He's not over worried about counting shot, but
No.
if it sits, it might get shot.
Yeah, he knows Jared needs 3 shots.
Sorry, Jared.
Just a reach and draw here, I would think, to try and rest the green one. Well, if it's 3rd shot, it won't be too bad.
One red.
Yeah, I think Connor was just having a quick look at that. Really, for Connor, he just needs to get another good second in there.
Yeah, I'll probably imagine he'll play the backhand and just make sure he beats Jared's last ball. Try and draw 2nd or 3rd shot, really.
Connor has 1 time out. Okay.
Well, he's chosen to stick to his forehand, reaches his own bowl. He looks short to me.
He does. This
There's
leaves
a
Jared
chance
with a
here for Jared.
chance to push and stay on the closest green. And he'll be hoping to score the 3, which he needs.
Well, Connor's certainly left him with a chance.
Time out call.
Yeah, I mean, if he overplays it
Jared has
rather than underplays it, because he doesn't want to try and play it too precise. Because he's always got the option of just thinning his own shot ball to get the same result.
Well, looks down a good
He's
track.
got a big chance here, you know. He's got a big chance. Can he
Dipping
bend
a
to his
bit
own
quick.
ball? Oh, what a try. Couldn't have played that much better.
Second set of the match, Connor Sonato.
Great performance by Connor Sonato. He's played really well, started the match brilliantly well, and he set the standard for everybody else in the competition.
Yeah, certainly played well there. Thanks so much for joining me in the commentary box, Rob, and best of luck in the tournament tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Enjoy your day in the commentary box.
Thank you. Join us after the break. We start again at 2 o'clock with John McCutchinson versus Neil Mulholland. Thanks for your company this morning.
Concludes your morning matches. We kick off again at 2 o'clock this afternoon with the remaining 3 today. So have a great lunch and see you back at 2 o'clock. Thank you very much.